How does that look?
No, I'm not saying that. You get some sense that there's a handful of stocks.
Look at that. I mean, you could tie that to the market. Bang. Hashtag, how are you today?
I'm frazzled, but there are some days are better than others. There's obviously bigger problems in the world today than mine. So anyway,
Ain't that
what
the
do you
truth?
got?
We like to play a game here on Commercial Break where I just say some obscure name. I give it to Tim, and I can almost guarantee, I can almost say with certainty that Tim will know who this person is and what he or she represents. You ready to go?
Yeah, and there's obviously some linkage to something else we're going to talk about. So I'm listening and I'm trying to kind of bring it all together.
You ready?
Talk to me.
Scott McKenzie.
If you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. I mean, look, a song that defined a generation. This was the summer of love. I believe this was the summer of 68 or 67 for that matter. But anyway,
I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. Late 60s, Scott McKenzie. If you're going to San Francisco, well done. See, I knew you'd know that. Obviously, you have the Triborough Bridge behind you.
You know, Mackenzie Phillips was named after him. But keep going.
That's exactly true because John Phillips played guitar on that song. Look at us connecting dots. Now,
some weird stuff went on there. But by the way, Mackenzie Phillips was on the show with Pat Harrington.
One Day at a Time.
One Day at a Time with Valerie Bertinelli. I mean, unbelievable. And I think Schneider was really the key to that show. I know it seems crazy, but I mean, Pat Harrington's work is always underappreciated out there. So
I think his whole rig, though, the jeans, the white T-shirt, the mustache, the tool belt, he had the whole thing going.
He was rolling the smokes up into the T-shirt. Yeah, the pencil thin mustache. There was a lot right and a lot wrong about that. San Francisco in the late 60s, by the way, I mean, there was so much right about that music scene. There's a major debate to be made, though, about that scene versus the Laurel Canyon scene down south. And, it's going to be unpopular for some of the hippies out there, but I'm a buyer of the Laurel Canyon scene over the Haight-Ashbury scene, even though I am a veteran of over 100 Grateful Dead shows, Guy Adami.
And I am a veteran of Zero.
No,
it's just I'd rather go see Fish play than the Grateful Dead, and the thought of going to see a Fish concert to me is just.
So you're a Trey Anastasio fan. Look, I mean, the fact that you can even name Fish as a band is impressive to me. But again, we're talking not just the Dead and jam band stuff, but I mean, we're talking about Metallica, bro. And I broed you.
Wait a second. Did you just bro me? Did you just heavy bro me?
I did on Metallica because I think a Metallica fan, and there are many of them out there watching Commercial Break, are probably like, dude, Metallica, bro, Metallica, and they're screaming right now, sitting at gate 15 at their screens, wondering why we haven't talked about Metallica. Or Steve Miller Band, who I know you love, is like a sleeper San Francisco band. Or how about Journey and that song Lights, which is all about the Golden Gate Bridge. You know that? It's all about the Golden Gate Bridge. So where are we, Guy?
And one of them, that Don't Stop Believing, might be one of the top 5 worst songs in the history of mankind. The question is, so why are we talking about Scott McKenzie, Mackenzie Phillips, John Phillips, Pat Harrington, One Day at a Time, all those things? So because this week in 1933, no, that's not the Triborough Bridge, like I said. That is, in fact, the Golden Gate Bridge. That's when they started construction on the famed Golden Gate Bridge, Tim Seymour.
And an engineering masterpiece and a beautiful bridge. And I left my heart in San Francisco and all these songs that have been written about the Golden Gate Bridge because it really is. And the connectivity of Northern Cal, very important structurally, very important logistically. I think it's also important to talk about, just why when we think about the stock market today, the bridge that's gone on from essentially the world of industrial companies and brick and mortar companies to .com is no less significant, probably, I hate to say this, significantly more significant than the Golden Gate Bridge, and fascinating because we live in a world today where the things that I wasn't walking around with a cell phone in 1991 in San Francisco, Guy, and if I was, it would have been the size of the one Radar O'Reilly carries around on MASH. But the .com world, we're probably into 3.0, and don't look now, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say it. I mean, I know markets are all-time highs effectively, but we're in the middle of a dot-com crash 2.0. There's no way to describe it. I mean, the moves in some of these stocks has been nothing less of shocking. And I think there's a lot of people that bought into some of these names in the same way they bought into Webvan and Pets.com.
These are not small companies you're talking about, by the way. In terms of market cap, you're talking about stocks anywhere from 15 to $100 billion that are down anywhere from 30 to 70% over the last 6 months. And nobody's talking about it, but maybe we should start, because the broader market, to your point, is effectively at all-time highs. But one has to wonder for how long those waters are going to remain calm.
What goes on Stitch Fix? Like, if I had logged on to StitchFix.com, what would I be doing? I really have no idea. I don't think I'd be knitting. I mean, what is it?
Well, I believe it's a site where you can go and get it outfitted. You can get your clothes sort of made for you, and then it comes in a nice box. Like this Ralph Lauren sweater that I'm wearing right now could have come from Stitch Fix.
Are you wearing a polo sweater, bro?
Absolutely,
is that what
100%.
Yeah.
This is and I will tell you, and you're not going to believe me. You're going to be like, yeah, sure.
Cashmere.
I bought
Cashmere
this
too.
I bought this in college.
Hey,
I
look,
bought this in college.
I'm not surprised at all. So Stitch Fix is down 84%. Zillow, which is a very real company, and I bet 28% of our audience has either actually sold something or bought something on Zillow or spends regular time on Zillow. I mean, this is in the world where everybody's managing their own real estate portfolio. The fact that Zillow is down over 80%, that Robinhood, which was supposed to change the way young people traded and got to learn more about portfolio management, are they down 80% because they're worthless, or was the market just in Gaga land?
Well, that's what you talk about it all the time. I mean, what we're seeing here, no, they're not worthless companies. They're just being re-rated. And we're having these conversations because in retrospect, and it's only in retrospect, they should have never traded to some of the levels they were in the first place. And I think we tried to point that out. The problem is each day these stocks went higher, and those sort of concerns get washed out and get hidden because the market is doing the talking and people don't want to hear it. They only want to hear it in retrospect, like, why didn't you tell me this could happen?
So the brilliance behind investing in Square before it pulled back 60%. Which of these stocks are overdone? Do you care about, is this trade something that, first of all, you think investors need to watch out for? Is there more to go?
Stocks overshoot to the upside, which we clearly saw earlier last year, and stocks are in the midst of overshooting to the downside. So I think this can last longer, and I think you would agree, than people realize. But there are real companies out there, and of all the names you mentioned, I think Square's at the top of the list. It will find a home on the downside. I just don't think it's found it yet.
I think there's been, again, the dot-com move from 96 to March of 2000 was one where the NASDAQ went up 400%. A lot of these stocks are up 400%. A lot of these stocks look very similar if you look at those charts. And I don't think these charts stop on a dime. But I don't know what time it is, but where can you usually find us somewhere walking around the airport?
In the airports, the lounges, the bars, restaurants, gates. We're on Reach TV, typically at 6, but all day long. You are Tim Seymour. I am Guy Adami, but collectively, what are we, Tim?
Well, we're going to fly like an eagle right now, but we are commercial break. See you soon.